Hi everyone, my name is Martin Berenger. I am the Director of Development for ASON International, and I wanted to give you a short update on everything that's happening in our various fields, be that in the Dominican Republic, in South Asia, or in Ghana. Ellen is actually on the ground in the Dominican Republic for a construction mission trip, and she's going to give you a live shout out from there. So let's get into it. Let's kick it off with the Dominican Republic. As I mentioned before, Ellen is on site in the Dominican Republic for a construction mission trip, and she's going to record a video down there directly from the construction site, and we'll go to that shortly. But she's on site with 17 team members, and the reason for the construction mission trip is to build an addition to a building for our t-shirt factory. And one of the key distinguishing factors for ASON International is that we incubate ministries, but our long-term goal is to get them to a point of self-sufficiency where they can financially support themselves and no longer rely on any support from us or anybody else. And that means that they're in it for the long haul on their own, and they will survive and thrive without ASON long-term. So let's go ahead and send it over to Ellen real quick for an update from the field.
My name is Ellen Abramson, and I'm the founding president of ASON International, and I'm very excited to be on a work site for one of our development projects. And it's exciting because at the end of all of our development projects, we want them to have some way of supporting themselves rather than depending on outside resources. So we have a team right now here of 17 people, including me, 15 from Michigan, one from North Dakota, and they're all working on a building that will be used for a t-shirt factory. We're taking care of two birds with one stone. The short-term mission trip that's impacting the lives of those who come, and providing a self-support mechanism for Mano a Mano con Adonai in the Dominican Republic.
Okay, now let's go dive into the financial needs for the Dominican Republic as a whole. The t-shirt factory, as you can see, is actively under construction, and we're currently raising $50,000 for that. And that goes towards the construction, renovation, and of course the equipment to start up the project. We're also raising $40,000 for this young gentleman here by the name of Rafaelito. He's a deaf student. We've been walking alongside of him for the last 13 years. And we, on a regular basis, build homes for families in need. And Rafaelito is the next one we will do that for. And we hope to do that next year, God willing, if the funds come in for that project. Let's talk about South Asia. South Asia has been a very challenging environment for us politically. There's a lot of persecution going on in that country right now, particularly in that part of the country. And even though freedom of religion is actually in the constitution of that country, there are also separate laws that prevent conversion by either force or bribery. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of gray area when it comes to the interpretation of that law. And oftentimes accusations are all it takes to get someone arrested. So recently, our national and lead pastor in that field was arrested. He was held at the local jail for 3 nights without food, without shoes, sleeping on a concrete floor, without a pillow, without a mattress. And meanwhile, 200 members of his congregation were gathered outside of the jail in support for him, each of them risking being arrested themselves. Now, that was obviously a very emotional time for us, and we did everything in our power to have him released as quickly as possible. One of the congregation members, friends of a friend, happened to be in the parliament and was able to negotiate his release in exchange for $3,000 in local currency. No charges were ever filed. There was no trial. And on the 3rd day, they brought him tea, they brought him breakfast, and he went home. He's doing well, and he's back to growing his ministry. Praise God. If you would like to learn more about what happened, you're welcome to go to our website and read the blog. There's much more detail about that story in the blog. You know, the field in general is doing very well. Our churches are growing very rapidly, and we even had the first step in self-sustainability for that field as well. We had the first wheat harvest come in, which is amazing. It's just the first step on self-sustainability for that field, but it is a very important first step. Let's go into the needs for South Asia, which are large because we are actively planting churches with 15 church planters in that field. We are looking to raise $179,000 for the mother church and school. And then we are currently looking to secure land for the construction of 3 new churches, and we're raising $375,000 for that. And given the persecution in the field, we're always raising money for boundary walls to make sure that everybody can worship safely. And of course, water wells, so they have good water and clean water to drink. Moving on to Ghana, we recently returned from our mission trip to Ghana in February, where we had a women's and leadership conference, and we celebrated the grand opening of our senior high school. And that is a huge step for us. The mission trip brought 13 individuals from 4 different states, 4 generations. It was a great mission trip. We accomplished a lot. Here is Ellen addressing the congregation during Sunday worship. And the grand opening of our senior high school. We had the chief of the Frafra tribe there, and the Ghana Education Service, or the Ministry of Education, was also present. So it was great to see that, and we have decided to build a 4th floor to house a science lab and a computer lab. And you can actually see this in our financial needs for Ghana. The construction of the 4th floor we're raising $73,000 for, and to equip and furnish the science and computer lab, we are raising $30,000 for that. How you can help? Of course, you can give and support any of the projects I mentioned. You can sponsor a child in Ghana or in the Dominican Republic. A Boga basket bulk order goes a long way to support the Weaver Group in Ghana. Every basket sold supports the Weaver's family for a solid month, for 1 entire month for the entire family. That is rice and beans and corn to feed the entire family. So $55 goes a long way there. We can, of course, always use your prayer. Please pray specifically that the political climate in South Asia would change so it's more conducive to Christian ministry and they can worship without persecution. And please help us spread the word. You can go to asan.org to read our blogs, to find our social media channels, and to give, of course, to any of the projects. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I hope to meet you in person one day.